know what too far right is. That's the racial purity stuff. That's Nazism. What is the too far left thing? And how will you know it when you see it? Where do you draw the line of going, that's too far left? Because we know too far right. That's Steve King, I think was his name, who would like say little like racist things here or there, and then basically said, what's wrong with white supremacy? And then Ben Shapiro and people like that are like, what? Nope, screw this guy, I'm out. Like they hold a line of what is too far right, but I don't know what the line of too far left is, and I haven't heard anyone give that to me.
It's like, how many people starved for the sake of this utopia that Mao Zedong maybe very purely wanted to create, right? That's why it's so difficult. It's so enticing. Like I actually have a student who's 13 years old, and we're talking about whether or not we think that people are inherently evil or good. And he's a Christian. And so he brought up the Adam and Eve story, which I thought was quite interesting. He goes, I think Adam and Eve were born good, right? And I go, okay, so does that mean we're good, right? He goes, but if they had they had the apple of, after they bit into the apple, they received knowledge. And that was that's what had them leave the Garden of Eden and not to return, right? And so in many ways, and I thought that was really brilliant, because in many ways I think Marxism is that concept of wanting to return to the Garden of Eden, but then it's something that we cannot. It's impossible. Of course, it's so enticing and desirable, but it's impossible. It's in the structure of our humanity today. It's never going to happen. And
I've never heard it that way before. That is brilliant.
Yeah, and it was my student. It was like who really was like, oh, brilliant, I won't
engage with this because it might make me think. I won't engage with this. That whole thing of like there is the ignorance and bliss.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very.
Yeah, it's like why is it that if an animal like eats another animal, we don't find that evil, but if I kill another person, that is evil. It's through that knowledge of what harms me will harm them, and that knowledge is what distinguishes us from many of this consciousness that we have, was what distinguishes us from different life forms on the planet. That knowledge of what is evil as well as good,